They'll be calling you a radical. We got a lot to talk about Fukushima, the story that's breaking out of, hey, hey, what you gonna do? Look, people can say all the PCB dumps, the issues that have been going in Southern California. Don't forget this. This study that's coming out of Malibu, do not forget this. This is thyroid cancer. It's like the giant herd of elephants no one wants to talk about. They try to pigeonhole it over. This is the subject matter that nobody's going to talk about, and they think it's going to go away. This isn't 9/11. This isn't, by the way, Greenspan's out on a public speaking tour. He should be in a fucking prison cell, the greatest terrorist in history. But the study coming out of TEPCO, 6,500 times, Santrum, in the trench next to the well. As these studies came out early in June, in July, I cannot believe people are so in epic denial. As far as the study in Malibu, and hear me out on this, hear me out. We understand all these issues, but this is acute. This is acute. What has happened acutely different? Fukushima, thyroid cancer. I love how you will, science teachers, you will quote Einstein whenever it benefits you. But when it comes to freaking nuclear, it's like, oh, he doesn't even exist. It's like people say, oh, they won't fund the studies out of the Pacific. Bullshit. Berkeley, Stanford, freaking UCLA, San Diego State, University of Washington, Oregon State. They have permanent buoys in the Pacific, all over the Pacific. Permanent. I know for a fact their data's out there. You think about the statistical probability of not one single test coming out of the American universities on Fukushima in 952 days. The statistical probability is, it's impossible. Google. Look, I've read the study over and over online, with the University of Arizona participating in it, Denmark University, a bunch of Japanese, German, there were international studies all over showing, it was in the column 25 miles out, 300 meters down in June of 2011. Look, I will default, go to Richard Miller Under the Cloud. If anybody does not read that, you can look up that map. He was here in Utah, as the downwinder thesis was so heavy here. Look, as he studied and studied, he showed where it rained the next day, where the plume was, and then he went into those areas and he did data on thyroid cancer, then leukemia, the dramatic increases in the acute, and then he talked about the long-term effects. Why is nobody talking, oh, the moose are all dying, that can't be Fukushima. The starfish are melting, oh, that can't be Fukushima. It's like this, you know, Lonnie Clark says it best, it's like this woman. She's married to this guy and she has children, either from him or other marriages, whatever. And the man is continually molesting the children. The children have all kinds of, and the woman knows, but she just goes in denials and blames it on everything else. Oh, this kid needs to be on Ritalin, this kid that's exactly what is going on here in North America. Why is not nobody any talk? Study after study after study is coming out of the Pacific Ocean. Because I call it the Pacific genocide. You know, this cover-up, as Jacko was taken into the situation, it's not even conspiratory. They've told you right in your face. This is how we covered up. We crashed Red Knight. We raised the limits. We know what the limits are. The plume hammered. It is safer to live in Tokyo than it is San Francisco, Los Angeles, Malibu. Hey, hey. I like to talk a lot about music. As you know, I've tagged music as this art form, as me telling this tale. I got cancer 7 months after Fukushima. Scream my head, it's going to give you leukemia, it's going to give you leukemia. I got leukemia. Less than 3% chance of survival in this thing. I was in a bone marrow. I've been telling this tale in detail. I like to use music for a reason, because I'm a socioeconomist, and I think the modern day artists, so many of them are songwriters. Great songwriters, they hypothesize forward humanity. Cobain was the greatest out of it. Nature is a whore in bloom. But I was tagging the song Malibu in some of my videos earlier this summer. I mean, those things are profound. How can we know factually, it's scientifically studied, this is no debate, this is no debate. The 40,000 atomic veterans, which I was head of the atomic veterans for years and years, my father nuked to death. We know by that study, the government data is there. I've presented it multiple times online. We know that just that exposure to those bombs, first thyroid cancer, then leukemia, kills them all. We know from Chernobyl, we know the data out from Chernobyl, that a freaking nuclear fallout causes thyroid cancer in the uterus. These studies are all there. How can you not? It's like the sea lions. Okay, we had all the sea lions. The guy goes right down there with the Geiger counter right underneath Son and Humphrey. and slide up, nothing, nothing. How is that possible that not one person has done any backup data? We've been waiting for this all summer, nothing, nothing. I was in San Diego. I interviewed I've been involved in the Navy, in the Marines. They know. The USS Reagan, they're already getting cancer from Fukushima. They know. Why can't anybody? Okay, right here in Utah, our Hogo Zoo right here, they have a sea lion that got here from an accident. He was blind. One of the famous creatures. He got leukemia this summer and just boom. Now, he was here before, but they're marker species. We know the sea lions are marker species. We know that dolphins are marker species. We know that the dolphins freaking were fleeing. You know, it's hurt. We know the moose are dying across North America. We know the starfish are freaking dying. We know the humans are. We know the leukemia rates are spiking. We know the cancer is spiking. The young gynecologist up in Washington over a year ago did her come out with her study saying, look, we've seen breast cancer. It's faster, harder, more extreme. They're killing you quicker. Then she got breast cancer and died. You know, just like me, I rant and rave. Our hospital, it's more acute. Look, leukemia like AML, working class man's disease because of exposure to benzene. You know, airplane mechanics from the fuel, railroaders from the fuel, paint, you know, all these different fumes. But now we're seeing in 20 to 35 AML. It never happened. Now, the other horrific leukemias, they're different leukemias. Juvenile leukemia, they're different, but we're seeing so many abstract, radical, crazy leukemias now. We're seeing young women in epic proportion, because it affects young women first. It hits the thyroid first. Now look, Malibu, you can say, oh, okay, why is it they're talking in Malibu and not here? And let me talk about this. Why is this showing up in Malibu? Because there has been an acute awareness because of the chemical dumping under the school sites, and they've tested and they're not finding it. But what it has done is thrown a spotlight. I think if the same spotlight was all up and down California, in Salt Lake, in Utah, in Colorado, in Idaho, in Vancouver, Canada, in Ontario, in Toronto, in New York City, I think if the same spotlight, the same results would be showing up as is showing up in Malibu, because that spotlight's on the school and they're going in there. This is Fukushima. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind this is Fukushima. All this is Fukushima. Look, the numbers that hammered over North America in the other days were gigantic. I've reported this. You want to, I mean, spend some time, go into my videos. Go to 3/12/12, even before that, and just start going through them. You'll type in a date, Fukushima. You know, 3/11. I mean, I've got some on my channel page. There's 5 or 6 of them right there, but I did hundreds and hundreds. I reported this in absolute real-time detail. The spiking of the 6,500 via the swamped out hurricane and typhoon. We've been seeing these numbers all summer long. It's been vastly reported. The media, as I've turned it black and yellow journalism, it's malice. Sanjay Gupta, if you want to know everything about the media, I've read this transcript multiple times over and over. I'll tag it again here. He was over there. Remember, this is a practicing neurosurgeon. Took the Hippocratic Oath. This is malice. He should be in a jail cell. Read this and you tell me this was 15 days after Fukushima. Read this. I mean, this is so grotesque and so malice. How can this country be so in epic denial? As Greenspan, you know, it all falls together. He's out on the speaking tour. NPR had him on. I'm like, this is the greatest terrorist in world history. Well, now he's the second. General Electric. I mean, Japan is us. Japan does nothing without us. That was the treaty signed after World War II. Nothing. We're being hammered with nuclear fallout. There are 3 full core meltdowns in China syndrome for 900. Please, you want to quote you science teachers, high school, college, academia, where the fuck are you? The marine biologists, you evil bastards, where the fuck are you? Really, you want to quote Einstein over and over and over and say this brilliant fucking guy, Oppenheimer, Sokarov, all this science, but only when the science fits your mantra. You don't want to quote the science when, here it is, right here. Nuclear fission is happening. We just letting it go. Why? You can't even have a conversation about it. Oh, you're a lunatic. No, we're not lunatics. You know, we're not going out in left field. Now, people want to talk about, oh, this caused earthquake. I don't even go there. I'm talking about the facts that we do know. We know that RadNet was crashed after 3-4 days. RadNet, Radiation Detecting Network, is all over the freaking world, or the United States. We know what the readings were. We saw them. The plume was very real. It went up. The wind blows out. It is safer to live in Tokyo than it is in San Francisco, in Seattle, in Portland, in Vancouver, Canada. Yeah, well, all across. The plume has hammered us. You know, what can we do? What can you, well, bolster the immune system, eat fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. You know, be able to freaking be aware of these things like these people right here. You're getting problems with your thyroid. Talk to the doctors about this, about as far as being leukemia. I'm telling you. Is this going to be a whole life extinct? No! Unless it's going to kill a lot of people. It's going to kill millions of people. But if we continue to let it go on over there, you know, who knows how far this thing is burned down and what is it? I am dumbfounded. Even as much as I've ranted and raved and carried on this, I would have never believed this thing could go on 950 degrees. I would have never believed the vast fingers as far as the corporate media. I'm blown away. I mean, videos with my central line hanging out of my jugular, I thought people would be all over me like, oh my God, what a compelling, epic story this is. Oh my God, I can't believe this in real time. Wow. America, what the fuck is the matter with you? Morality, you have none. You know, the exploitation of slaves in China is so grotesque, but this is even more. You cannot wrap your round around that nuclear fallout is cancer. The studies are all there. It's 100% declared. 100%. And what I want to say one last thing is this viral video that's going to these punks in Utah pushing over this fucking multi-million. Why wouldn't they do? That's what the Mormons teach here. That's what Utah, you fucking piece of shit software. That's what they do. Rape the earth for profit. Dump fucking storage waste for profit. That's what we teach our youth. That's what we teach our youth. Oh, you're a tree hugger. You soft piece of fucking, call me a soft fucking tree hugger. Fucking leukemia and all, and see what the fuck happens to you. It's time to strengthen up with fucking intelligence and fucking strength. And tell this fucking tale. Until we could fucking get it out into the fucking culture and they can understand that this is very, very fucking real. And it's not some hyperbole, all fucking fairy tale bullshit. You know, Einstein's great quote, I don't know what, we keep going down the nuclear road. I don't know what World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. I mean, it's time. Stay on tuned. They'll be calling you a radical. We got a lot to talk about Fukushima, the story that's breaking out of, hey, hey, what you gonna do? Look, people can say all the PCB dumps, the issues that have been going in Southern California. Don't forget this. In the trench next to the well, as these studies came out early in June, in July, I cannot believe people are so in epic denial. As far as the study in Malibu, and hear me out on this, hear me out. We understand all these issues, but this is acute. This is acute. What has happened acutely different? Fukushima, thyroid cancer. I love how you will, science teachers, you will quote Einstein whenever it benefits you. This study that's coming out of Malibu, do not forget this. This is thyroid cancer. It's like the giant herd of elephants no one wants to talk about. They try to pigeonhole it over. This is the subject matter that nobody's going to talk about and they think it's going to go away. This isn't 9/11. This isn't, by the way, Greenspan's out on a public speaking tour. He should be in a fucking prison cell, the greatest terrorist in history. But the study coming out of TEPCO, 6,500 times, Santrum.